Another cold and snowy night sets in across Colorado.
Tomorrow won't be much warmer, but coming up, I'll show you when we'll get back to the 50s and even 60s.
Fentanyl fueling heartache in Colorado.
What did she take?
She took one of the blue pills.
What blue pill?
The blues, the fentanyl pill.
Tonight, we're hearing from a sheriff's deputy on the front lines of a deadly crisis.
Take a 5-2 Narcan administered.
It doesn't matter who you are, what you do, or what you've done in the past. We're there to make sure that you make it to the next day.
A parking ramp garage door sits broken for months.
We pay a lot of money to park securely in here. It doesn't seem like it's going to get fixed anytime soon.
Tonight, residents of this apartment complex are turning to contact Denver 7 for help.
We begin tonight with the frigid conditions across Colorado.
As light snow falls in some parts of the area, our temperatures have stayed in the single digits. Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson checks in now. Mike, we're not looking much warmer tomorrow.
No, when the middle teens are a step up, you know it's really cold outside. Right now, this is the view in Boulder on the Pearl Street Mall, and only 1 or 2 people brave enough to be out there with single-digit temperatures along the Front Range. And when you combine the wind with those temperatures, it feels like 15 below zero on exposed skin in Denver. 19 below up at Sterling. You'll notice it's not as cold off to the west. They have more of a Pacific air mass out there that has more snow than cold associated with it. That's where the winter storm warnings are in effect, the snow advisories, the avalanche watch on the eastern plains, though it's the wind chill advisory for tonight and tomorrow morning. There is some snow coming our way along the Front Range, but it's not nearly as much as in the high country. Just some scattered snow showers will amount to an inch or less overnight tonight and into the morning hours. So the weather headlines: it is going to stay bitter cold for a while yet, folks. There'll be some snow along the metro area, more expected in the mountains, but we stay below freezing until midday on Saturday. I do have a 60 in the 7-day, though. I'll share that with you in about 15 minutes.
Deadly doses of fentanyl fueling tragedy in Colorado.
Of the nearly 1,700 overdoses last year, nearly half were linked to fentanyl, a synthetic opioid 100 times stronger than morphine.
The crisis caused even more heartache this weekend. 5 people found dead inside a Commerce City home, and investigators say all 5 had been poisoned after ingesting fentanyl-laced cocaine.
Well, tonight a sheriff's deputy is sharing his experiences on the front lines of this crisis.
Here is Denver 7 CB Cotton.
Sheriff's office!
Seconds are the key to survival, and Deputy Chris Calderon
She's lying on the ground.
knew he had to work quick. Captured here on his body-worn camera, the deputy is responding to a suspected overdose.
What did she take?
She was drinking and she took one of the blue pills.
What blue pill?
The blues, the fentanyl pills that they're all taking nowadays.
A friend believes the unconscious woman has taken a pill laced with fentanyl. Less than 5 minutes from when he first arrived on scene, Deputy Calderon administers Narcan, and the woman starts to breathe and eventually wakes up.
Hey.
Ultimately, she survived, but this December incident isn't the first for Deputy Calderon. He's responded to about 8 overdose calls last year.
I was at the right place at the right time, I suppose.
Right place, right time, yes. But he also had the right tool, and he showed us. Narcan reverses the effects of an opioid overdose. Deputy Calderon has saved at least 6 people using it. All the while, he has to keep himself safe too. Which is why PPE has become so crucial as the threat of fentanyl increases in the state. The DEA Denver Division says their seizures back up this very real threat. In 2019, they seized 81,000 pills containing fentanyl, and now,
just the last 5 months for DEA across the state, where we've seized close to 800,000 counterfeit pills laced with fentanyl. That's a 10 times increase.
And acting special agent in charge David Oleski doesn't foresee the fentanyl trend slowing down.
The other alarming trend that's out there is that the drug trafficking organizations are also now lacing other illicit drugs with fentanyl, so namely cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine.
Which means there's more chances for recreational users to encounter a substance that could kill them.
When the drug traffickers are looking at this, they might not be trying to kill their end user, but they don't mind if you happen to die in the process.
But for every life that's been saved,
Hey.
Calderon hopes it's a life that's learned of the dangers.
At least I'm happy to know that maybe some of the people that I helped with Narcan are still with us.
CB Cotton, Denver 7.
And no matter who you are or where you are, we want to remind Coloradans that Narcan can save a person's life, and it is easy to get. Anyone who lives in Denver can now order fentanyl testing strips and Narcan for free, and the city will literally ship it to your home. If you don't live in Denver, you can typically get it at a pharmacy without a prescription. And one important note here, Narcan won't hurt someone who doesn't have opioids in their system.
The DEA says only 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be enough to kill a person. However, in Colorado, possession of fentanyl is not a felony until 4 grams. Attorney General Phil Weiser says 4 grams is enough to kill thousands of people. Well, today House Democrats said there is work being done on fentanyl, but didn't give a lot of details.
We're certainly getting into a place where we're trying to find the right public policy solution. We're not the only place in the country that's trying to do that.
There are 2.5 months now left in this legislative session.
The White House is vowing even more sanctions against Russia if it continues its aggression in Ukraine.
If Russia goes further with this invasion, we stand prepared to go further as with sanctions.
The warning comes as the U.S. hits Moscow with sanctions targeting its banks and its wealthiest elites. On Monday, the Russian president declared 2 separatist regions in eastern Ukraine independent and ordered Russian troops to move in.
Who in the Lord's name does Putin think gives him the right to declare new so-called countries on territory that belong to his neighbors? This is a flagrant violation of international law, and it demands a firm response from the international community.
Well, the U.S. is not the only country targeting Russia with sanctions. Several European countries are joining in, with Germany delivering a sharp blow by halting certification of a new gas line between the two countries.
Westminster police say human remains have been found in the rubble of a home explosion. A security camera from across the street captured the explosion. It happened about 2:30 this morning in the 7700 block of Knox Court. Neighbors tell Denver 7 they heard someone yelling just before it happened.
Just a big hole where the house is, and I'm pretty sure he was in it. Just shaking and just fear, you know? It's like, what happened? What happened? Yeah, it's crazy.
Authorities say it could take several weeks to figure out what triggered this blast.
The city of Superior is bringing in a consulting firm to assist with rebuilding from the Marshall Fire. During a meeting tonight, the city introduced community members to Denver-based Clarion Associates. Clarion will help the community speed up its rebuilding process. Last week, residents shared concerns to Denver 7 that the rebuilding process is just taking too long and could cause people to leave Superior rather than rebuild. The city will be hosting 2 more community meetings tomorrow so residents can ask Clarion officials any questions they might have.
Tonight, the Douglas County School Board is set to vote on a timeline to hire a new superintendent. A proposed timeline has the board voting on finalists next Thursday, not even 4 weeks after the board's majority voted to fire now former Superintendent Corey Wise. Discussion on the search timeline is going on right now. We'll let you know what the board decides on thedenverchannel.com. Residents of a downtown Denver apartment building now are turning to contact Denver 7 for help.
They say the door to their parking garage has been broken for months. As Denver 7's Brian Wang explains, the owner of the building says it's all because of a supply chain issue.
We've had problems with homeless people coming into our garage.
Residents at the City Gate Apartments in Denver say a broken garage gate has been left wide open for months.
It has been stuck open consistently since November.
Welcoming just about anyone inside.
And they're like, well, there's a whole 5-story garage that's not being attended to. Let's just break in and see what we can get, see what we can sell. And it sucks.
Resident Mark Gordon would agree.
One day I was about to go to the store and I looked to my left and it wasn't there.
His brand new motorcycle stolen.
The 2017 Triumph Street Twin, only vehicle I ever bought new. Care about it more than my frickin' BMW over there.
Gordon's frustration is shared among other tenants. According to an open data crime database, 6 vehicles have been stolen from the garage since November, and more than a dozen people have had items stolen from inside their cars. So what's the holdup to fix the gate? The apartment management team blames supply chain issues. In an email to a resident, an apartment manager said in part, due to supply chain issues nationwide, the part is taking longer than anyone would like. In another email sent to some residents, the apartment complex says that they have increased security to patrol the garage area specifically because of this issue, but residents we spoke with say they haven't noticed that increase, and we've been here on property for several hours now. We haven't either. We reached out to the apartment complex for comments, but they have not responded.
Our cars are all getting broken into all the time.
Alex Nader's car was broken into Sunday.
It's really frustrating.
So she started a petition on Monday demanding management to find a more immediate solution to fix the gate. It already has more than 150 signatures, most of them residents.
I love living at City Gate. I think a lot of people really like living here. We just want something to be done.
Bayan Wang, Denver 7.
Connecting roots.
My whole life has exploded in terms of richness of people and places.
A Denver group helping Coloradans of color fill in their ancestral gaps.
Still a very colorful map tonight. Plenty of watches, warnings, and advisories. I'll let you know when this winter storm is finally going to ease its grip.
And later in sports, Denver 7's Nick Rothschild breaks down one of the strangest interviews you will ever see.